through the preparations, as it were, for my sail north to Queensland on my yacht Doxie. Looking at the weather and the tides, looks like I'm aiming for around about the 6th to the 9th of May. Why I say that basically is the tides are the right way for me, as in I will be able to use the outgoing tide as I leave Brisbane water here in New South Wales. And when I arrive at my first port, which should be Swansea, in New South Wales also, but just further up the coast, um, it should be an incoming tide too, which helps you get into waterways, narrow waterways. If you do come to grief, coming grounding or anything like that, coming into a channel, it means the tide's still coming up, so you've got a good chance of floating off again. It's a beautiful sunny day here in Gosford at the moment, but still here I'm at home, excuse me, working on preparations. But just to share what the day looks like here at the moment, it's not too bad, is it? Now, this view used to be a lot better before all these horrible new buildings came along. Still got a bit of a view of Brisbane water. My boat's actually down on that body of water, but more down towards the left, out of sight. So, yeah, not bad. So, what did I get done today? Sorry about the light there. I've talked to my guy who's building my dinghy. Well, he's built it. We're just trying to organise a delivery time for that, which hopefully will be next week. You just got to do a few things so I can raise the boat on the davits on the stern of Doxie, so I can lift her out of the water when I'm doing the longer stretches. So, yeah, just trying to make things work well. Also going through all the bits and pieces I need to make the trip comfortable. There's a lot of things I brought ashore last season. It is a bit of a seasonal thing, basically, in that here we like to go north to Queensland during our winter months, obviously to escape the cold, but it's also when the weather is a little bit more stable. I'm just walking into my kitchen right now, and I've just got to plonk that there. Yeah, so that's the time to head north. There is basically almost a fleet of boats going up that way. Some are already on the way up there, which I'm jealous of, but my turn will come, as I said. And if you've just joined, yeah, I'll be leaving in about 3 weeks or so to make my way north to Queensland and spend probably about 5 or 6 months up there. So I'll tell you what, in case you're not from Australia, I'm going to go and find a map. And I'm going to do this the low-tech way, I'm afraid. Yep, paper. Well, not paper. Well, it is. It is. It is just let me dig for it. Of course, I can't find it when I want to. But that'd be the normal state of affairs. Just messing around amongst all my maps. And would you? Oh, hang on. I think I know where it is. If you give me a minute. Doing these things one-handed is never easy. Right. I have a map. So I'm not the map, if you a Dora the Explorer fan, which I'm not. But yeah, that's one of those earworms that you sort of will know what I'm talking about, if you know it. Okay, so it's actually rolled up at the moment. Let me get some scissors. These were all taken from my previous boat, which I went up to Queensland last year. So I recovered most things, and one of those is a map of Australia. There you go. We'll try and have a look a bit closer than that though. Okay, so let me just bring this around. maybe find a more suitable place where we can have a bit of light. And spread that out on the table. Okay, so let me just flick around. This is your basic map of Australia. Okay, so here we are. Sydney, everybody will recognise. A bit further north, in between is where I am, just north of. Just bear with me a second. Have to put my eyes in. Right, there we go. Let's try that again. Okay, so you can see Gosford. Okay, so for my first leg, we'll be going to Swansea, basically. Doesn't look very far on the map, but then again, if you take that into the context of Australia, which is rather a large place, it's pretty much on par in size as mainland USA. So it'll be Swansea, Newcastle, and then I'll be going up to Nelson Bay, probably stay a few days there with friends, and then continue on up the coast. So this part of the coast is not that hospitable as far as lots of nice harbours and inlets and stuff. So there'll be some quite long runs between those. So for example, from Coffs Harbour, the next place I'd go to is Yamba. And then from Yamba, it's all the way around basically into the Gold Coast where it says Surfers Paradise. Now, from memory, I think that was about an 18-hour run when I went last year. So, and that was in fairly breezy conditions too. So, some long runs, and that obviously means night runs as well. But basically, with Brisbane, I'll probably stay there a little while because I've got friends to catch up with. And then we'll be heading further up north, Sunshine Coast, Queensland. So the Queensland border is here where Tweed Heads is. So once I've gone around the corner here, Byron Bay is actually the easternmost point of mainland Australia. So that's always a bit of a milestone going around there. So you're sort of going northeast as you're going up to it, and then you start going northwest again. So once you get up past through going behind Kagari or Fraser Island, it's the largest sand island in the world. Very interesting place. We go around the inside, which is the Great Sandy Strait. Challenging but very scenic and obviously nice and protected. But I'll be heading up to Mackay and then the Whitsunday Islands. Okay, so this is probably my main area that I'm aiming for. And it'll take me a few weeks to get there, basically depending on the weather. Last year, I had to hold up in places like Bundaberg, Port Bundaberg, or the Burnett River, probably for about 4 or 5 days, because of the weather. So it was very strong winds, and you don't want to be out in that stuff. So yeah, you've been there, Bob? That's great. And northern Queensland, yeah, I'd like to go further north. Last year, I got as far as, we go back to our trusty map. Okay, so you can see Bowen here. It's Cape Gloucester, should be highlighted there somewhere. Doesn't seem to be. But yeah, there's a lovely island there, Gloucester Island and Cape Gloucester. That's as far as I got last year, so you can see there's still a lot further to go. Whether I'll get there this time around, I don't know. It'll depend on who I catch up with and what we end up doing. But that's a nice thing. No, I didn't go to the rum factory in Bundy. I'll have to make a point of doing that this time, Bob. Yeah, even though I was there for a while, but I was just, yeah, didn't really... didn't venture out much. It wasn't very nice weather, so I just holed up and yeah, passed the time, as it were. But I'll try and make a point of it this time. Yeah, so for those who don't know, the Bundaberg factory or distillery or whatever you call it in Bundaberg is famous for rum, ginger beer and various other things. So yeah, it's actually an amazing part of the world. Very rich. If you go, it's very flat there because it's obviously alluvial. Um, but if you go up the, what is it, the knob? I can't remember now. Isn't that terrible? Why do I go places if I don't remember anything? But essentially, it's an old volcano, and yeah, it's just accounted obviously for a lot of the fertile soil there. There's a lot of black rocks, which kind of reminded me of my childhood where I grew up in Samoa, and yeah, all the black volcanic rock everywhere. So yeah, obviously has impacted the countryside there greatly. But the colours of the soil and everything, when you're looking down from the top of the mountain, is yeah, incredible to see. So it's very, yeah, it's varied scenery all the way up, basically. You know, tropical sort of, you know, rainforest, all sorts of things, and of course the animal life. Um, I will be going up with the whales. So the whales basically mainly humpback, which migrate up. They're probably starting around about now. Now being the 14th of April. Oh God, halfway through April already. How did that happen? Uh, Amazing. But yeah, it's beautiful to see. You see so many whales every day. Um, it's the night sailing when you can hear them. That's the worrying part. I'm sure they know I'm there, but still, you know, it's a leap of faith. So, but an amazing experience. Whales, dolphins, yeah, yeah, they do. Yeah, breaching whales, amazing. And you can see them from so far off too, because yeah, they really leave a splash. The funny thing is, you can actually hear them before you see them. You can usually hear that big outlet of breath, and you're sort of looking around. It's like, ah, there they are. Or dolphins, or turtles. Particularly when you're moored somewhere, you know, in a little bay, and next thing you hear, psh, and yeah, they're harder to get pictures of than stuff. Turtles. I didn't see any when I was snorkeling, but I hope I will this time. But amazing experiences coming up. And talking about snorkeling, Lady Musgrave Island is one of my favourites, which is just north of Bundaberg, but sort of directly out from the town of 1770. So that was probably a good half day's sail from Port Bundaberg in a fairly stiff breeze last year. It's well out of the side of the mainland, but it's sort of a circular. You'd say it was an atoll, but I guess it isn't really because it wasn't really formed by volcanic activity, as far as I can tell. Um, and with one little island, Lady Musgrave Island, at the end of the coral lagoon, and basically within the lagoon, it's just amazing. So clear. Lots of coral and stone, rock reefs, bomboras, bommies there. And as I said, the water's so clear when I'm standing on the deck of the boat and you see the fish going past, you almost feel like you're all swimming together because you can't see the surface of the water, it's so clear. So it's very, very cool. And yeah, the snorkeling, of course, amazing. So trying to do a lot more of that this time, and hopefully see some more interesting sea life. Um, but all is a great experience. Lots of secluded places to stay where you're just miles away from anything or anybody. Just the odd boat that comes through. A lot of the places we go to, of course, you couldn't get to without a boat. Um, so that makes it quite a special too, that you're sort of going somewhere where normally people don't get to. And yeah, as long as you bring enough provisions, you can stay there for a long time, which is fantastic. I didn't do much fishing last year, but I certainly hope to try it this year. So I must make sure I've got a good selection of lures, even dragging behind the boat as I'm going along. So be nice to get a free dinner every now and then. But yeah, There's lots of nice places to stop too, basically. And some of the marinas are really nice. I don't stay at marinas as a rule. Every now and then it's good to go in just to freshen up, top up the water, top up the fuel, get your laundry done, that kind of thing, because obviously you don't want to waste fresh water on laundry when you're at sea. Um, if it rains enough, you could catch some, and then you could justify using it for doing laundry, but otherwise, it's really a lot of day sails, if you like. So it's not as if I'm going, days, weeks out of sight of land or anything like that. So yeah, it's like you're never that far away, but it still feels like a great adventure. So looking forward to it greatly. So today, as I said earlier, if you've just joined, I've just been talking to the guy who made my dinghy, my tender. So we're organising to get that delivered soon. And then I'm also waiting. Elliot Heads. Yes, I'll try Elliot Heads. I'll check that out. I don't remember if I've been there or not. It sort of rings a bell, but not. Yeah, not on a windy day. I think that applies to a lot of those places. Like, you can get very rolly, so you might have a safe anchorage, but you've also get situations where you've got swell coming in, and it just makes it uncomfortable with a boat going like this all night. A little bit of that is great, but a lot of it makes for a very hard night to sleep. So, yeah, no, it is beautiful lying and sleeping in the boat, just hearing the water of the tide going past, trickling under the hull. Is just like, yeah, I could do this forever. So, very, very restful. Yes, Australia is a lovely place, Bob. It's certainly got a lot of varied and extreme scenery, I guess. It's yeah. I mean, I come from New Zealand originally, so I guess we're spoiled for scenery there too, because in New Zealand everything's very close together, although it's very varied, very, very varied. And was the adage is just you drive an hour down the road and the scenery completely changes. So you could be in sheep paddocks one minute, in the Alps the next, going through volcanic plateaus, deserts. So yeah, it's all very compact. Australia obviously much larger, so everything is a lot further apart, but still an amazing place for sure. Yeah, Port Phillip sleeping on deck. Yeah, that probably could be a bit challenging there, sailing Caliban. Um, yeah, I haven't ventured down south. I've only gone north. I guess I'm just a warm climate person. I grew up. Half of my childhood was in the tropics, so like Samoa in the South Pacific and Malaysia. So yeah, venturing south into cooler climates has not really crossed my mind at this point, but I think I'd really like to because there must be some amazing places to go. Even around Tasmania sounds amazing. So, but lots of sea miles to cover. So this is only my second year of venturing further abroad, well, not abroad, but further from home on the boat. So I'm still relatively new to that. But I'm enjoying all the learning. Yeah, Tasmania would be lovely, wouldn't it? I mean, Tasmania is beautiful if you're touring around on the island, so I'm guessing that sailing around it would be just as rewarding. Because I saw, yeah, there were so many amazing inlets and waterways and stuff there. Getting across Bass Strait, of course, would be challenging, but yeah, you can't do it without you can't make an omelette without breaking eggs. Although you just want to avoid breaking eggs as much as possible in this game. So yeah. So what have I got to do? I've still got to service the engine. We'll give that a service as close as possible to departure, just to make sure that's all fresh and good. Just waiting for the guys to call me back on that one, actually. I've got some electrical work I'm getting done, basically around my battery setup. So, for those who are not basically aware of sailing, which a lot of people wouldn't be, A yacht obviously doesn't run its engine the whole time, so you don't have that constant power being provided by the alternator or generator driving to your batteries. So our challenge is basically to keep our batteries topped up as much as possible. And that's generally done by things like solar panels. When we do run the engine, of course, which is generally at the beginning and the end of each trip, and sometimes in the middle of the trip if the wind decides to go on holiday, then we're basically depending on solar panels. Some people have wind generators as well, although they can be quite noisy. So yeah, that's I'm basically using solar panels. Have a good day yourself. Thanks, Bob, for dropping by. Sailing Caliban. I sailed around where you are, but I moved down here 10 years ago. The Hawkesbury I love. Yes, the Hawkesbury is amazing. I'm in Brisbane water, which actually feeds out into Broken Bay, which is the estuary of the mighty Hawkesbury River. Now, the Hawkesbury River is on the northern edges of Sydney. So, where I live is on the central coast. And thanks, Bob. I'm glad I made your day. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. And yeah, there'll be a lot more coming up basically once I get going in a few weeks. So I hope to share some amazing things. So yeah, the Hawkesbury, amazing river on the northern edges of Sydney. If you go slightly up the Hawkesbury River, there are some really deep coves and things, and it's obviously a sunken mountain range because you go in between these what would have been valleys, but the water is very deep. So incredible place to go. Popular with boaties here for the weekend. It's just a few hours away basically by boat, and yeah, very nice. And waterfalls. Yes, all manner of things. And you're out in the native bush, basically. So it's the Ku-ring-gai National Park. So beautiful surroundings, green, lush bush everywhere. You wouldn't even believe you're that close to Sydney when you're sort of in the middle of those little bays and coves. You just don't see anything other than luscious bush and yeah, whatever national park. Yeah, the waterfall. There is a waterfall in what is it? America Bay, I think it is. Is that maybe what you were talking about, sailing Caliban? Um, yeah, beautiful spots, beautiful spots. Just be careful, go swimming there because I have seen sharks. So, well, you're going to see them everywhere, I guess. You just got to be wary of them. It's always hard taking that first plunge when you're going snorkeling. It's like, check under the boat. Just make sure there's not something you can't see. So yes, a nice sailing ground here. Sailing wise, down to Sydney on a good day, probably 3 to 4 hours. So it's not too far away. And yeah, I'm up here on the central coast, north of Sydney, and yeah, kind of love it up here. It's a lot quieter than Sydney. Sydney's got very busy now, like most cities in the world these days. They're becoming a little bit hard to deal with. So beautiful place here. Brisbane Water, the little lagoon, inlet, whatever you call it, is nice just to go day sailing on too if you just want to go out and have a laze on the water. But as I said, getting down to the actual mouth and into Broken Bay, probably just shy of 2 hours basically, depending on the tide. Um, so when I do go north, I won't be leaving from Gosford on my first leg. I'll actually move the boat down to the bottom or near the entrance of the channel at a place called Ettalong, Ettalong. Yeah, no points for spelling. So basically, on the morning when I depart for my first long leg, I'll already be near the entrance to the channel, so I can get that jump because, of course, the days are getting shorter at this time of the year as we're now going into autumn, fall, if you're looking from North America. And so you want to make the most of daylight. as you can. So get going right on, dawn or even pre-dawn for the first bit, because I know the water. So by the time the sun's coming up, I'm already out on the open water, making my way north. And I remember that was such a great feeling doing that last year, and then just finding that wind and just settling down into the pace of going up the coast. So looking for a wind from the south, or west, southwest, or westerly. Prefer not to have easterlies, because they can bring in swell from the Tasman Sea. So I'll try and avoid those. But, if it is what it is and it's not too strong, then it'll still be helpful. Anything from the north, I'll stay home and wait. Yeah, I'm going cruising. I'm not racing. So definitely will not be sort of tacking if I don't have to, because that makes a long day and a slow day. So it might not make my destination in time for sunset, which is what I hope to do. So the first one, I'll be stopping at Swansea, just short of the drawbridge. So I mentioned Lake Macquarie being the largest saltwater coastal lake in Australia. That has a narrow entrance through a place called Swansea, and there is a drawbridge that goes across there. So there are some moorings on the seaside and some moorings on the lakeside, and you can actually overnight on them. So I'll grab one of those on my way north, and usually I've only done it once before. I will go and have a nice meal at the RSL, the Return Servicemen's League Club, which is right on the water there. It's a beautiful spot, so it's a nice place to mark the first day of the trip north. So looking forward to that moment too. Just feel like I'm on my way finally. So yeah. So jobs to do still. Oh yeah, I'm getting a new. So for my mainsail on the boat, basically it drops down to the boom in what they call a sail bag or a boom bag. The one that's on Doxie at the moment, my yacht, is rather old and falling apart, so I had ordered a new one, and it is ready apparently, but he's going to install it next week, which is great. So that'll look really nice and burgundy, just to fit in with Doxie's colours, and to have a new one of those on board will make her look rather nice. So also nice knowing that it's not falling apart on you. So yes, all these preparations, but yes, do follow if you're interested. Just getting things together now, basically. I've got boxes of things around the place, starting to get the dry provisions together, so just stocking up on those gradually. And by that I mean coffee and more coffee. No, yes. Coffee, rice, all those non-perishables, cereals for breakfast. I have UHT milk in single little serve packs, so I can basically keep using those for breakfast, which is handy because they last, well, for a long time. Even so, I'll still keep them in the fridge on the boat, which is a bit of a chest fridge affair in the actual bench top in the galley, the kitchen, and I'll start filling that basically. I've got several packs of ginger beer in there. I must get some real beer and some wine and some food. I'm kidding. No, I'm not. But anyway, I've got cans of soups and canned vegetables. So canned soups are quite, the chunky ones are handy because you can mix those with rice, and you basically can have, a good meal out of that. Cost an arm and a leg. What's that, Sailing Caliban? What costs sailing? Yes. Do I have a freezer? The fridge has actually got an ice box, so not a freezer as such. I haven't managed to freeze anything in it yet, but then again, I've only gone short day sales so far. I've only had Doxie since November, so she's still new to me. Still finding our feet, as it were, finding out how she works. I cost an arm and a leg the boom bag. Yes, it was about 2K. So no, it was exactly 2K actually. But yeah, that's sort of something you can't do without. So hopefully she will last some time. Apparently the reviews through for this outfit, was it East Coast, East Wind covers, I think it is. Got a very good rap from all the people I've talked to here, and they use the higher quality materials. So hopefully all that's true, and I'll get a few years out of it because I don't want to be doing that every year. That's for sure. But yeah, the one that's on there now is literally falling apart. So it was definitely a requirement to get that done. So I'm very happy that that'll be mounted soon. So she'll look good and operate well. So all good. Yeah, I mean, cost an arm and a leg. A boat is basically a hole in the water where you keep tipping money into. So once you understand that, then yeah, all good. It's just you got to mentally prepare yourself for that. But yeah, at least I can live aboard her for a good period of time. And well, I think that size I could probably live on permanently quite easily. So, but we will find our way, and things will start to fit just right after a while. So all the ideas you have now about where everything should go and how it should fit will probably change along the way once you're actually living on board and just sort of think, yeah, that's not really what I thought it would be. So move everything around. You know what you're going to use and what you're not going to use very often. Like wet weather gear, I'll probably have that for the first few weeks, and then I can put that away because it's not that I'm not going to get wet weather. I'm just not going to be worried about staying dry that much because up in the tropics, it's just like, yeah, bit of rain on you. There's nothing wrong with that. Probably a relief more than anything else some of the time. So anyway, I will come to a close here, I think, for now. But yeah, please stay tuned if you're interested. Thank you for joining. I appreciate your comments and interest, and certainly we'll be adding more in the future. Have a great day, everybody, and stay safe out there.